Lecture is about point of view. In literature, the narration style, especially in fiction or in prose, we refer to as point of view. It's the point of view from which the story is being told. For example, first person point of view is where the story is told from a character speaking in the story. So you'll see a lot of I did this, I did that, we went here, we went there, I thought about these things. A character in the story is telling the story. Okay? Now it could be past tense, I did this, or it could be present tense, I am doing this, or I do this, is what present tense would be. Now, third person point of view comes in several different flavors. Third person limited is where you will have a narrator who is functioning outside the story, telling what's going on in the story, but they're only going to focus on one character or one set of characters. And so you'll see he did this, she did that, they did this, they did that, he thought, she thought. You'll see a lot of that kind of stuff in the story. But they're not going to talk about anything else happening in the story or in that universe aside from what's going on with this limited group. So they may be following around 2 or 3 people. And they may just tell you the thoughts of 2 or 3 people. But say if that third person narrator is just focusing on the protagonist, they may not tell you what's going on with the antagonist. The antagonist comes into the story when they do. It's a surprise to the characters. It's a surprise to the narrator. You're never really in the know with that antagonist. And therefore that third person narrator is limited in their abilities, if you want to think about it that way. Third person omniscient is where the third person narrator knows everything and they tell you everything. So a third person omniscient narrator will tell you the thoughts and the actions, or is capable of telling you the thoughts and actions of all characters. So you may have a section of a story where it's told, where the narrator is talking about the protagonist and what they're doing and what they're thinking. And then they'll have a section about the antagonist and what they're doing and what they're thinking. Okay? So now there is a second person narrator. You won't hear about it very often. It's where in the book, the closest thing you could probably describe the text, the closest description of a text of a second person narrator would be, you do this, you do that, you wake up in the morning and walk into the kitchen to get a cup of coffee. Now it's really difficult to maintain. Well, I think it's really difficult for you to maintain a narrative using that point of view style, but there are books out there that do this. So in review, you have first person narrator, where the narrator is a character in the story, and you'll see a lot of I, me, my, we, and us. You have third person narrator, third person limited, where it's he, she, they, but the narrator's only talking about a limited group of people, or they don't tell you all the story or all the things that are going on. They are limited in their scope. And then you have third person omniscient, which is where the narrator knows about everything going on in the story. They know everything. That's what omniscient means. And then again, there's that small, relatively unused point of view, the second person, where you have you do this, you do that. You yourself, the reader, as it were, is a character in the story.